And welcome back to The Mountain Gardener, your host, Ken Lain, and his lovely assistant, bride of 35 years, business partner, actually the general manager of Waters Garden Center, my wife, Lisa Waters Lain. She
Thank
comes
you.
in each week and answers your garden questions. Hey, Lisa.
Well, I ask the questions, you answer them.
Well, okay, that's good. You gather them up, you collect them throughout the week, and then broadcast them over the
Yes.
Northern Arizona airwaves, which is kind of nice. We've been doing this for forever.
Long time.
We had a great turnout for your father's memorial
Yes.
or a celebration of life. It was the whole community was there. It's kind of fun to see friends. Kids are flown in from all over the place, which is kind of that's the most fun. So remembering is always good because your dad was a great guy.
Yeah.
In fact, later in the show, I've got him. I rounded up a segment on fruit trees we did a couple years ago.
Nice.
I'm going to rebroadcast that so you can hear Harold's voice right here in the community. I was listening to it before you came in the studio. It's really good. So, and great information if you're into fruit trees. So anyway, thank you everyone for supporting us. That's super. It meant a lot to the family. We appreciate that.
That is true.
Well, want to go over garden questions or where are you at?
Let's change the topic. How are you feeling, by the way? You sound a little...
Allergies are going nuts. So a little bit deeper voice, but just kind of... Oh, I like it. I would get allergies anytime for that kind of statement.
No, please don't.
Guys, you know what I'm talking about, right?
All right, let's move on to questions. So Susan would like to know if she can grow pomegranate and persimmons in the Prescott area.
Oh, sure you can. Yeah. Oh, so pomegranates are famous down in Tucson, Phoenix, those areas, summer. But if you've got a real bright, hot spot in your yard, they'll grow up here. There's a couple of varieties we sell here that are cold hardy. Again, there's a lot of pomegranates. You want one that takes that cold, a zone 7, a good strong 7 zone, which means it can go down to 10 degrees, 5 degrees or so, and it will still fruit. Pomegranates don't get quite as large here, so they'll get up head high or so down the deserts. Here they're a little shorter. Think hip high or so, but that same beautiful red fruit, glorious flower, bright red flowers. Persimmons actually do even better. They really do well up here, and they don't get the disease stuff that the leaf spots and the curls that the South or some of the East Coast get. So we actually grow persimmons even better here than you do in other places. So absolutely lots of persimmons. We've got all the fruit tree selections here for you. So yes, you can do both. Cover it all. I would say fertilize right now. Plant them now before they leaf out, and then fertilize all your fruit trees no matter what. But that'll really get you. It feels like it's going to be a good fruit year.
I hope so. That'd be nice. You betcha. All right. Our next question is from Mike in Prescott Valley.
Hey, Mike.
He wants to know, is there a way to stop a KV plum tree from producing those pesky plums? He loves the tree. He loves the blooms, but it's right next to his driveway.
Yeah. So Purple Leaf Plum. This is just for listeners that aren't Mike's struggling. So Purple Leaf Plum is a very famous plant up here. In fact, they're starting to bloom in the racks here at the garden center. They come out with this bright pink flower, and they're starting to bloom all around town. And then after they're done blooming, they start to form a purple leaf, thus the name Purple Leaf Plum, and it stays purple right through fall. So it's a deciduous plant. So it gets up maybe, 15 feet, 16 feet tall, kind of a short tree, vase-shaped, hardy as can be. Animals don't eat it. It's a great tree. It is an ornamental plum in that it's meant to have the flowers, but when the spring comes, it's supposed to take off that fruit and burn off so the foliage doesn't. So the foliage comes out, but the flowers don't set fruit. Right. We're so mild up here that some years they actually set fruit. And generally it used to be about every 3rd or 4th year. The winters have been mild enough and ramped up slow enough that they've been fruiting for the last couple of years. They've fruited consistently. It's like a cherry size fruit. It's not a true plum. It's a smaller, like a cherry size plum. Very sweet. It's got a kind of a tart skin, but real flavorful, really sweet innards. You could make jams and jellies out of it, but really, you really put that one in there, not to have fruit, but to have. So now we set the stage. Mike, I'm so sorry for you. Right next to that might have been the wrong tree for the driveway. Come talk to us next time. We'll help you not plant it in the wrong place. There's not a lot you can do. there's a fruit eliminator, or what do they call that? I don't think
Florel.
Florel.
Mm-hmm.
You could spray Florel, it's a liquid, onto the foliage when it's in bloom. So, maybe in another week or two, spray it when it's starting to set fruit, and it will drop the fruit on that tree.
Right.
Doggone allergies. Where's the cough button when you need it? Florel is what you do.
Right. And do it while it's in bloom.
Yes, that's the secret. So spray
bloom.
it right there, and it'll drop all its full and all of its blooms,
Mm-hmm.
and it won't set fruit.
Okay.
Yep, that's how you do it. Otherwise, you go out there and pay the grandkids like $1. Hey, we'll make a goldfish run, or we'll candy bar. Here's a bucket. Go pick all the fruit off, and we'll go have fun afterwards. We'll climb the boulders. We'll go skydiving. Don't tell your mom.
I think they have to have permission to skydive, but we'll see on that. All right. So Richard has a question. He's in Prescott, and he pulled out a bunch of diseased Leland Cypress.
Okay. Ouch.
And he wants to know,
Poor
is
Richard.
it safe to put in the Arizona cypress in the same spot?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. So Leland Cypress, so for folks that know, if you've got big Leland Cypress, this is a very common plant 20 years ago. We stopped selling it probably 10 years ago. You'll still find it sold in a box store. Don't buy from a box store. You'll still find them offered, but there's a canker, a disease that's going after every single living Leland Cypress. This is a big tree up to 20 feet tall, maybe 20 feet wide. We use it for screens and windbreaks, and we are predicting every single Leland will be dead in the county within a few years.
Right.
So you'll see them work, and there's nothing you can do. There's no cure. So all you can do is prolong the death and then cut it down and get it out of there. We have not seen that canker migrate over to other species. It's unique. It likes the flavor of Leland Cypress specifically. That's why we stopped selling that particular one. So I think you could plant directly in there an Arizona cypress or a deodar cedar or a Spartan juniper or another variety, and it would be perfectly fine. Italian cypress would be fine. We're not seeing that on there. I've seen like one case where it came over to Arizona cypress, but the thing was so stressed that people had so abused it that it collapsed and it became weak and succumbed to it. Right. But if you're keeping it healthy, we have not seen that migration of that canker over from Leland Cypress to other species. So I would say you could plant that out. If you can dig the roots out, great. I mean, sometimes you can. Those big trees, they get massive roots. But if you could get that out of there, that would help you. It'll help it grow, because as roots rot in the ground, they keep other roots from growing into that space. It's a way of the forest spacing itself out. And so if you can dig those out, the next plant you put in there will take better. So anyway, come see us for more. We can help you, Richard. Yes, you can do that. Do it. Go for it.
Well, for the first time ever, I'm out of questions and we still have time left.
Well, did you notice our peonies are growing like crazy right now?
Every day I look at them, they're like 2 or 3 inches taller.
I mean, they're actively growing. People don't realize you can grow peony so easy here.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So the secret with peony, in fact, we grow them better than the Midwest does. And they're famous there. We grow them better here because it's dry. And so they like this altitude, the bright sun and the dryness. So we don't get the leaf spot. We don't get some of the
diseases that come on them. So, peonies, people think peonies are really hard to grow.
No.
But they're not. Just give them a well-drained, bright spot to put their roots down, and they're happy as can be.
The secret is well-drained.
Right.
As long as it's well-drained. If it sits in heavy clay, but it's got a real fleshy root, and that's what makes it so drought hardy. You may have to stake them in the wind. If you're up on those hill windy areas, you might have to stake them, but it's easy to do. So
get a tomato cage and put it.
There you go. Ken and Lisa Lain, the Mountain Gardeners. Be right back after this.